Schooling and education is not just a lengthy college application process.
How do you help your students to boost their confidence? A lot of parents are now increasingly looking at international education. So what does international education offer that state education doesn't?
I think parents are looking for a combination of things. Of course, they want to be grounded in their own culture and heritage, and I think a really good international education doesn't forget that, make sure there's a great local curriculum. But also, they're probably after a bilingual environment. They want their children typically to be fluent and articulate in English as well as Chinese. And they are imagining their sons and daughters being global citizens. And then I would add to that, when we get the best of Chinese approaches and educational heritage and combine it with the best of Western creativity, problem solving, teaching and learning styles, you get an amazing education if you take the best of both worlds.
So in the last week, I think a lot of students have received their offers or invitation for Oxbridge interview. But what I found with a lot of Chinese students is that even though they have super high grades, like 5 A stars, but they still cannot get through the interview stage of Oxbridge. I think going through a state education, a normal education system in China, they lack the confidence of interacting in English with people. So how do you help your students to boost their confidence?
Every day, hopefully in almost every lesson, the importance of getting all of the young people, even the shy ones, speaking out, articulating their thoughts, and crucially, not just interacting with the teacher, but also one another, because it's when you get intelligent discussion and debate going on in class in English that the students become accustomed to that whole process. It's one of the great strengths of the UK private school system is that it relentlessly requires the pupils to express themselves, and the practice of doing that builds your confidence.
Yeah.
As well as, I mean, it's not just in class and debating about academic things, and in my own development, I was quite a shy teenager, but I always enjoyed acting on the stage. I enjoyed learning lines, I enjoyed stepping onto the stage and performing with others. And that is a wonderful way of building confidence. It does it in a very structured way, but it also allows you to act out roles that are not you. And so you're not exposing your inner self to people, you're putting on a performance. So that is another great way of doing it. And I know you're very much involved in that sort of world.
So end of January, from the 28th of January, we're collaborating with the school to hold a drama camp for students to learn English and English expressions through drama, through speech, and also through music theater. I think that would be a great way of helping, or give a concentrated, intensive course for students to develop their confidence, English expression and skills.
And we're very excited about that project. Declamation, performance can become a really major part of education. I think sometimes in China there's an attitude that says, oh, well, that's extracurricular, so it doesn't really count in academic development. It's some other activity, a bit like, you know, equestrian events or rock climbing or that sort of thing. But actually, it's very formative in terms of being able to express important ideas. And so when it comes to things like university interviews, it can be critically important. I bet if one analysed the interests and experiences of the world's most successful leaders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, with the majority, you would find some other interests that they've done at a high level, or they've had experiences that are non-academic, made them the people they are. And so actually schooling and education is not just a lengthy college application process.
Of course, yeah.
So
we're preparing them for life.
Exactly right, exactly right. And in doing that, actually, they then become more attractive, interesting people, so they're actually more likely to get into college. So it all works. So the key message is, let's have an holistic picture of personal development. And sometimes the boundaries between academic, scholarship, interests and activities it's blurred, and it's right that it should be.
So Jim, you were at one of the most famous schools in the world, Harrow.
Yes.
What took you to Huitong?
A lot of people have asked me that, Gracie. So it was a combination of things. I mean, I'd had 16 years of school leadership in the UK. Norwich School, very ancient, 900-year-old school, followed by Harrow for 7 years. Wonderful experiences, leadership roles. I encountered amazing people. And actually, it took me around the world. With Harrow, I would travel to visit alumni in many places, including China, Hong Kong. And so I had some experience of visiting schools in other parts of the world. And there was always this thought in my mind, maybe if I did another job beyond Harrow, it could be something in an international environment. Taking perhaps the best of what I'd learned in long-standing schools and marry it to contemporary innovation, and to try to put together the best sort of experience for today's young people. So it's an exciting, fascinating project, and I'm delighted I'm doing it. So watch this space.
A lot to look forward to.
Exactly.